Older women don't choose the nicest man in the world. They choose the man who makes them feel something they thought they had already lost. Because at a certain point in life, attraction changes. It is no longer about charm. It is no longer about effort. And it is definitely not about trying harder than everyone else. Most men misunderstand this completely. They think older women are easier to impress, more open, more forgiving. But the truth is the opposite. Older women are not easier, they are more selective. Not because they expect more from you, but because they understand more about themselves. They've experienced attention. They've experienced desire. They've experienced men who say the right things and still leave them feeling empty. So now they don't respond to what you say. They respond to what they feel when they are around you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And this idea reveals something most men never realize. Attraction is not created by controlling the situation. It is created by the state you bring into it. Because when a man is grounded, when he is present, when he is in control of himself, something shifts. Not in what he does, but in how she feels. And that feeling is what older women are truly drawn to. Not noise, not effort, not performance, but presence. So the real question is not, how do you impress her? The real question is, what happens inside her when she is with you? Because if you understand that, you begin to see a pattern, a very precise one. It starts with something most men overlook: respect.
He does this, number one. He respects her without trying to impress. The first thing he does is something most men completely misunderstand. He doesn't try to impress her. He respects her. But not in the way most men think. Because most men, when they hear respect, they become polite, careful, overly agreeable. And without realizing it, they lose all tension. That's not respect. That's submission. Real respect feels different. It shows up in the way he looks at her. Not scanning her body, not evaluating her, not trying to win her approval, but actually seeing her, her presence, her energy, the person in front of him. And that alone already separates him from most women she has met. Because an older woman has experienced attention her entire life. She knows what it feels like to be desired, to be chased, to be complimented. But being truly seen, that is rare. And she can feel the difference immediately. Epictetus once said, "He who respects himself is safe from others." And this is where everything shifts. Because the man who truly respects a woman is a man who is already grounded within himself. He is not trying to get something from her. He is not performing for her approval. He is simply present. And when a man shows up like that, something changes inside her. She stops feeling like she's being judged. She stops feeling like she has to perform. And instead, she begins to relax, just slightly at first. Her tone softens. Her body language opens. Her attention lingers a little longer than usual. Not because he said something special, but because she feels something different. And that feeling is where attraction begins. But here's the part most men never understand. Respect does not create desire by itself. It only opens the door. What happens next is what makes her step closer instead of walking away.
He does this number 2. He makes her feel safe without becoming soft. The second thing he does is where most men get confused. He makes her feel safe, but not by being soft, not by agreeing with everything she says, and definitely not by trying to please her, because that doesn't create safety, it creates doubt. Real emotional safety feels very different. It comes from one simple thing. He is not controlled by what happens around him. Not her mood, not her tests, not the situation. And an older woman notices this immediately because she has seen the opposite too many times. Men who react too quickly, men who get defensive, men who lose control the moment tension appears. And when that happens, she doesn't feel safe. She feels like she has to manage the man. And the moment she has to do that, attraction disappears. Epictetus once said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." And this is exactly what she is sensing. Because the man who stays grounded doesn't react automatically. He pauses, he observes, and then he responds deliberately. Not to impress her, not to win the moment, but because he is in control of himself. And that creates a very specific feeling inside her. She doesn't have to be careful. She doesn't have to adjust. She doesn't have to hold everything together. She can just let go. And when that happens, something deeper begins to emerge. Her guard starts to drop. Not all at once, not dramatically, but enough for her to stop analyzing and start feeling. And that shift from control to release is where desire actually begins. But here's the part most men miss. If you stop here, you'll feel safe to her, but you won't be unforgettable. Because safety alone is not enough. He does this. Number 3. He slows down when other men rush. The third thing he does is subtle, but it changes everything. He slows down exactly at the moment when most men start to rush. Because when attraction begins to build, most men lose control. They talk more, they push faster, they try to lock it in before it's gone. And without realizing it, they destroy the very thing they're trying to create. Because attraction, especially with an older woman, does not grow under pressure. It grows in space, in pauses, in moments that are allowed to breathe. And the man who understands this doesn't chase the outcome. He stays in the moment. Lao Tzu once wrote, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." And this is exactly how he moves. He doesn't rush the conversation. He doesn't rush the connection. He doesn't rush her. He allows the interaction to unfold at its own pace. And that creates something most men never experience. Tension. Not awkward silence, but a quiet pull. Eye contact that lasts just a second longer. A pause that feels charged. A moment where neither of you says anything, but something is clearly happening. And that's where attraction shifts, from thinking to feeling. Because now, she's not analyzing you anymore. She's experiencing you. And the more you stay in that space, the more she begins to lean in. Not because you pulled her, but because she feels drawn. But here's the catch. Slowing down only works if you're not doing it out of hesitation. If you're unsure, she will feel that too, and the tension disappears instantly. Which is why this only works when it comes from something deeper, something she can sense even before you say a word. Confidence. He does this number 4. He stays calm when most men try to prove themselves. The fourth thing he does is something older women recognize instantly. He doesn't try to prove himself. He stays calm. Because most men, when they meet a woman they're attracted to, start performing. They talk more. They explain more. They try to show value in every sentence, and it feels forced. Not obviously, but subtly enough for her to sense it, because she has seen this pattern before. Men trying to be impressive instead of being real. But this man moves differently. He doesn't rush to fill silence. He doesn't over-explain his intentions. He doesn't try to convince her of his worth. He simply exists, comfortably, in the moment, with her. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." And this is exactly what she feels. He's not describing himself. He's not advertising himself. He is being himself. And that creates something most men can't fake: stability. A grounded presence that doesn't shift based on her reactions. If she is warm, he doesn't chase. If she is distant, he doesn't collapse. He remains the same. And that consistency is what makes her start to trust him. Not logically, but emotionally. Because for the first time in a long time, she's not dealing with a man who is trying to win her. She's in the presence of a man who already knows who he is. And that changes the dynamic completely. She starts to lean in, to test less, to observe more. Because now she's not asking, "Does he like me?" She's asking something very different. Who is this man? And the moment that question appears, attraction deepens. But confidence alone is still not enough to carry the interaction forward, because at some point, someone has to lead. He does this number 5. He leads without forcing control. The fifth thing he does is where the dynamic truly shifts. He leads, but not in the way most men think. Because when men hear the word lead, they either try to control everything or they avoid it completely, and both kill attraction. Control feels heavy, avoidance feels weak, but real leadership sits right in the middle. It's quiet, it's natural, and it's felt more than it's seen. Because he doesn't ask for direction, he brings it. Not aggressively, not forcefully, but clearly. He chooses the place. He moves the conversation. He guides the moment forward. And he does it without needing approval. Seneca once said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." And this is exactly what she feels. Clarity. A sense that this man knows where he's going, and she doesn't have to carry that weight. Because here's something most men never realize. Older women are used to being in control of their lives, their work, their decisions. They are constantly holding things together. So when they meet a man, they don't want another responsibility. They want relief. They want to feel like, for once, they don't have to think so much. And when a man leads properly, that's exactly what he gives them. Not control over them, but freedom from control. She can relax. She can follow the flow. She can drop out of her head and into the experience. And that's where attraction intensifies. Because now she's not evaluating you anymore. She's moving with you. And the more she moves with you, the more she starts to associate you with that feeling. But even leadership is still not the deepest layer, because there is something rarer than direction, something most men completely lack even when they do everything else right. He does this, number 6, He is fully present when others are distracted. The sixth thing he does is the rarest of all. He is fully present, not partially, not distracted, not thinking about what to say next, but completely there, with her, in the moment. Because most men aren't. They're in their head, trying to say the right thing, trying to avoid mistakes, trying to get a result. And even if they look confident on the outside, she can feel the distance, because attention is something you cannot fake. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." And this is the energy he carries, not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet awareness. He treats the moment as if it matters. So when she speaks, he actually listens, not waiting to respond, not trying to impress, just listening. When she looks at him, he holds the gaze, not nervously, not aggressively, but steadily. And when there is silence, he doesn't rush to fill it. He allows it to exist. And in that silence, something happens. Her guard drops further. Her attention deepens. Her awareness sharpens. Because for the first time in a long time, she is not competing with a man's distractions. She has his full presence. And that feeling is addictive. Because most people go through life feeling unseen, unheard, unfelt. But in this moment, she feels like she is the only person in the room, and that creates a connection that goes beyond words, beyond logic, straight into emotion. But here's the truth most men never understand. Even presence is not the final reason she chooses you, because she's not just responding to you, she's responding to something happening inside herself, something deeper, something she hasn't felt in a long time. He does this, number 7. He makes her feel alive again. The seventh thing he does is the one that changes everything. He makes her feel alive again. Not through words, not through effort, not through trying to impress her, but through how she experiences herself when she is with him. Because at a certain point in life, what a woman is really searching for is not a man, it's a feeling. A feeling she remembers but hasn't felt in a long time. To feel desired, to feel seen, to be present in her own body again, not thinking, not analyzing, not holding everything together, just feeling. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And this is where most men miss the deeper truth. Attraction is not about what you give her, it's about the state you create inside her. Because when she is around you and she feels lighter, more open, more connected to herself, she begins to associate that feeling with you. And that's when everything changes. Now she's not choosing you because you were logical. She's choosing you because of how she feels. Because with you, she is not the version of herself that is tired, controlled, and constantly thinking. With you, she becomes softer, warmer, more alive. And once a woman feels that, she doesn't want to go back. Not because she needs you, but because she wants to stay in that version of herself. And you become the man she connects to that feeling. That's why she chooses you. Not because you tried harder, not because you said the right things, but because you awakened something that was already inside her and made it real again. Conclusion: why older women choose certain men. So now the pattern is clear. Older women don't choose the man who tries the hardest. They've seen effort, they've heard the words, they've experienced the attention, and they know None of it matters if it doesn't feel real. What they respond to is different. Not louder, not more impressive, just rarer. A man who doesn't perform. A man who stays grounded when emotions shift. Who doesn't rush, doesn't chase, doesn't need to prove anything. A man who leads without forcing control. Who is present when everyone else is distracted. And without trying, he brings something back to her she thought was gone. Presence, desire, aliveness. Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." And this is what she feels, not the man himself, but the state she enters when she is with him. And once she feels that, she doesn't analyze it, she doesn't question it, she chooses it. Because the men older women choose are not trying to become attractive. They have already become someone who feels different. What does a woman feel after spending time with a man? Thank you for watching Stoic Wisdom today. If this made you see attraction differently, subscribe to us. Because once you understand the psychology, you stop chasing attention and start creating it. Until next time, stay calm, stay grounded, stay stoic.